What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Wednesday edition of the Reignmakers Fantasy Golf Show. I am Cupe, of course, your host for today's show. It's going to be a packed show today. Coming off the U.S. Open, we've got the Travelers Championship this weekend at TPC River Highlands, a golf course that fits a lot of different stat profiles. Short hitters can win, bombers can win, kind of a course that should fit a lot of guys' eyes. We've heard a ton this week around the content world of golf that there's a lot of sticky course history at this event, and I expect that will continue to be the case, and that players that seemingly play well here will continue to play well. I think it's also a week where the $20 million that these designated events are putting up really means that the best players in the world of golf come out to play. And we can say whatever we want about the state of the game, the PGA Tour, Live, everyone's heard that for weeks. But the bottom line, brass tacks of it all is that money essentially talks. Money brings out the best in the world. These guys played the US Open last week on the West Coast. This tournament is in Connecticut, coast to coast. Of course, the majority of the top players are flying private, doing whatever, but in a standard week, if this was a standard PGA Tour event, more than half of these guys would be opting out, would be fitting a different thing into their schedule, different schedule altogether. So, as much as we want to talk about Live and all that, the designated events and the money really brings out the golfers, and that's great for us golf fans. That's great for us Reignmakers players. That's awesome for fantasy golf in general. When you have known entities, known names on leaderboards, it makes for fantastic theater, and I expect that we'll get something similar out of the Travelers. Quick couple of notes on course like statistics. It's a shorter course, 6,800 yards, par 70, which means that I think we'll have a good chance that the DraftKings bonus of all rounds under 70 will potentially come into play this week. And when that comes into play, it ends up being a little chaos on Sunday and leaderboard movement. So I think when you're sweating your teams, take a look at what golfers have shot in the 60s each and every round, and know that 5-point bonus is out there. For a game like Reignmakers, when you're getting 1.5x points in the captain spot, 7.5 points is a massive difference in terms of shaking up the leaderboard. So keep that in mind this week. And it's going to be a fun tournament. I do think, and maybe even a little bit more so than typical, I do think that this will look and feel a little bit more like a birdie fest than maybe most others, or most of the conversation that I've heard, at least in the industry this week. I think the stacked field will showcase the best golfers, and in this course, the way it plays, the how good these guys are and how long they can hit it, how straight they can hit it, I expect there to be a lot of birdies made this week. I think it's a week where you're going to want streaks, you're going to want as many birdies as possible. Pars probably aren't going to get it done, especially in Reignmakers, when you only have 5 golfers versus traditional DFS with 6 golfers. So I think you're looking for ceiling more than anything in a tournament like the Travelers this week, which I think is a lot of fun. Birdies and scores, and higher scores tend to lead to better fantasy experiences. So we'll see the stark contrast between something like this event versus the US Open, where there were bogeys aplenty out there after the Thursday round. So it should be quite interesting. A couple things I want to go through today. Of course, I'll be building my lineups, or taking a look at the lineups that I've previously built on our site, otmnft.com/Reignmakers Pro. You'll get a full picture of all of that. I also want to take a look at crafting this week. I put it out in our Discord earlier. I have the ability to craft a couple solid low end rares for an elite this week. So we'll see what crafting looks like. I know a lot of people in our Discord have been messing with it, but I thought it would be awesome to do a craft live on stream. So wanted to do that. Also, shout out DraftKings. They've got a new players page. We'll take a look at that. Able to see a lot of fantasy golf data and information next to some of the Reignmakers pricing. So similar to what our players view looks like. I think they've expanded on that and added some statistics there. So we'll take a look at that. And then, as we reference and I reference in my tweets, I also want to highlight Blitz Fantasy Golf, our fantasy golf game, and going to open up a pack and going to do a giveaway for the Blitz pack. So we're going to have some fun at the end of the show with opening up a Blitz pack, showcasing the game, Blitz Fantasy Golf, and all that has to offer. So we have a lot to get through today. Without further ado, I'm going to jump onto our site, share my screen, and showcase to you all what we're looking at this week. Okay, as always, I start in the player's view. If you're an active listener of this show, you know what this page looks like. But basically, gives you the odds, the betting odds of every golfer in the field, and then the low ask value of core, rare, elite, legendary, Reignmaker tiers. I think this is just my favorite spot to look initially to see if there's anything that stands out in terms of pricing. I said this on the Monday show. A lot of what I've been doing for Reignmakers is just leveraging the portfolio I've built. I feel like I've built a portfolio of golfers at the elite tier and the rare tier that both have the upside and the ceiling to win these tournaments. And that's really what I'm playing for is to take down these tournaments. So we will go through the portfolio that I have and look at my lineups, but I just want to kind of highlight the tools that we have available for you to take a look and say, hey, do I want to be a buyer? Do I want to be a seller? What's happening with the golfers in the field this week? What kind of players am I able to put together at every single tier? So I take a look at this player's view first, and then I really jump right into the lineup builder. The lineup builder shows basically all of your cards, but then you can click into every specific tier, shows you the odds of that golfer, shows you some fantasy points data, some cuts made information. So gives you a bit more insight into the fantasy options. And I'm just going to start with my couple of lineups. This is a field where there are a lot of golfers, a lot of Reignmaker golfers specifically in this field. So I do think that there's going to be more lineups in just about every contest this week. Just feels like it's a bit more of a full field and a bit more of, Reignmakers golfers in this field versus especially a field like last week at the US Open where we had the live golfers in there. We had a lot of different golfers that maybe kept some entries a little lower than I think entries will be this week. I know I had a ton more lineups in this week's contest than I did last week's US Open. So a couple of my lineups at the top, I was able to build what I think is a really strong elite lineup. Tony Finau at captain, Hideki Matsuyama, who's been an absolute ball striking phenom over the course of the last several events. His elite ball striking is back. Brian Harman, who, and I wrote this up in my article this week, has just about as elite course history that you would want to see out of any mid-tier golfer. And I think his odds reflect it. I can't remember the last time Brian Harman was in this like 6,000 plus 6,000 odds range to win a golf tournament. My decision actually this week that I am kind of just letting the betting odds dictate was Brian Harman or Adam Scott. TJ and I talked a lot about Adam Scott and how good Adam Scott has been in just about as strong as a field as you can get. He's been fantastic. Missed the cut last week at the US Open, but I think he's perfectly viable for this week. But I just thought that Harman, with his course history, frees up my top lineup and then also gets me a pretty strong secondary elite lineup as well. So Scott in the captain spot in that secondary lineup. And then I round out my top lineup with Scotty Scheffler. As always, Scotty just the best player in the game right now, the best fantasy point scorer. If anybody is going to make birdies, it's going to be Scotty if he can get the flat stick to cooperate at all. And we saw him, putt a lot better at the U.S. Open than he had the previous two events where it was basically impossible to not putt better. I think he lost 8 and 7 strokes with the putter. For the two events before the U.S. Open. So hopefully the putter is coming around a little bit. There was a lot of talk about, is he going to use a new putter and all that stuff. He used, I believe, his standard putter. So, we'll see how that is. And then probably my favorite play at the top of the board is Patrick Cantlay. When I looked at Patrick Cantlay's numbers, one, I was kind of shocked. Patrick Cantlay has won less golf tournaments than I thought. He's won a ton of playoff events. He won the BMW twice. He's won the Tour Championship once, and then he won the Zurich, the team event with Xander. That's 4 of his 7 wins. 4 of his 8 wins. His other 4 wins are twice at the Memorial, the Zozo, and then his first win ever on the PGA Tour, which was the Shriners. So to me, I just feel like Patrick Cantlay is kind of due to get a win in one of these just traditional PGA Tour full field stroke play events. And his course history is solid here, and his game is coming around, and he's been a great fantasy scorer. I just like everything for Patrick Cantlay this week. I think in my article, I wrote it up. You can click in here and see that. I think what were his stats here? Let's see. Course history is impressive. Second in the field total driving, second in par 4 scoring, first in par 5 scoring, and second in birdie or better percentage, 28%. I just think that's enough math and enough numbers for me to really like Cantlay at the top of the board this week. And, I've been pretty biased in my own collection here this week, I guess. Brian Harman, his course history. And then at the bottom, Dylan Wu. I love Dylan Wu this week. His game is really solid. He's just basically continued to do nothing but make cuts, play well, played awesome at the Open, and he's playing well above his baseline. I think his odds to win this week are like plus 30,000. So I've got a little bit of an outright bet. You can get your outright bets over at DraftKings as well. I've got a little bit of an outright bet on Dylan Wu just for the sake that when I write up one of these long shot guys, they go on and win the tournament. Would definitely be a tough tournament for Wu to win with how strong the field is. But if he does make a charge in the weekend, I'll be happy to have a little bit of an action on Dylan Wu. All right, back to a couple of my lineups. One thing we talk about on this show week in and week out is and as you can see by my top lineup, I am playing all of my cards at lower tiers up a level. I'm playing all my best rares that I can possibly up in the elite contests, and I'm playing all of my best core cards, up into the rare contest. I just think that gives you the biggest upside. That gives you the best opportunity to play against less lineups with better golfers. So that's something that is a common theme on this show that a lot of you guys have continued to employ. I do think this is the kind of field where there's a lot of outcomes. The range of outcomes at this golf course, even in a field as strong as this, is pretty wide. The middle tier here, and TJ and I talked about this on Monday, the middle tier here from like Finau at plus 3,000 on down to Harman and Scott, even at plus 8,000, is quite strong. And you can make a lot of cases for guys in this field just because of the way the course is set up. So I do think it's going to be a bit of, needing to catch golf variance, needing to be on the right side of golf variance, needing to get a hot putter, which, all of these guys have the ability to putt really well on a given week in and week out. So you're going to need a hot putter, especially at a venue where birdies are going to be demanded. But I mean, I'll read these names off. Hideki Matsuyama, like I said, striking it really well. Siwoo Kim playing, as good a golf as we've seen him play. Wyndham Clark. I'm staying away from Wyndham this week because, one, I don't have him in my portfolio, but also he's coming off the biggest win of his career. Hard to back up the performance that he had at the U.S. Open. But does this game fit for this course? Absolutely. I think it is a perfect fit. So I can talk myself into Wyndham. This trio right here, sorry, I thought JT was there, but the trio of Sungjae Im, Max Homa, and Justin Thomas to me are really interesting. And I think Justin Thomas's odds continue to go further down. I believe when he opened up in this like 4,500 to 5,000 range with Sungjae Im and Homa, and he's going the other way in terms of the betting market. they're all just like struggling and looking to find something between those three golfers. So I do think if you're opting to play those guys, one, maybe less people are captaining them. So one way to play them is in that captain spot. And two, I think you're just looking for them to find something. Their game really isn't great right now, but on any given week, guys that are at the top end of the game can find something all of a sudden and just kind of learn and get the ball around the course and get it in the hole. So I do think it's a week where I don't think we really care as much about ownership in Rainmakers. In general, the people that have Sunjay Am or Max Homa or Justin Thomas, I really think they're going to just play those cards. So maybe a way to get a little different is playing these guys in the captain spot if you really kind of trying to catch variance in the right spot. So I do think they're pretty interesting. But like I said, I think you can talk yourself into a lot of options this week, which makes it fun to build lineups. I think you could build a lot of middling lineups, what I would call middling lineups together. And you could come, Saturday, have a 5-of-5 sweat, and all of a sudden you got a couple of guys charging up the board and you're moving up the leaderboard in a big way. So while I wouldn't be fading, and we talk about this a lot, I wouldn't be fading, Scheffler, Cantlay, Rahm. If you got him, put him in your captain spot. I do think it's a course where we could see one or a couple of these guys missing the cut at the top of the board. It's definitely possible. So just beware of that when you're building your lineups. It's also a week when there are these wider outcomes. I'm more likely to, let's take a look at the lobby here. I'm more likely to be playing the big money guaranteed prize pool contest the most. Shout out DraftKings made some naming updates too to the contests, which we changed some of the naming on our site as well. So you'll notice the naming convention is definitely different. But yeah, I'm opting to put just about every lineup except for lineups that really have no ceiling at all into these guaranteed prize pool contests. And everyone's kind of doing that, but I really do think that gives you the best chance to capture the upside of these top prizes, but then also claw back some money in terms of getting back your investment into Rainmakers. So that's how I'm attacking these contests. Would love to know if you guys are playing differently and how you're playing it. I saw a couple comments where people are going for the World Golf Championship and the qualifiers, and they're just hunting down the experience and the seat value. And I think that's a fun way to play. Chasing seats is certainly fun. I'm just in it for more of the grind of trying to get back my investment. So I'm opting to play guaranteed cash over those. I do expect that, and look at it's usually like around 3,000 in rare, and then a little over 1,000, close to 1,500 in guaranteed. And as you can, in elite, and as you can see, elite guarantees already up to 1.5K. If this hits 2,000, I wouldn't be shocked. And then where is rare? Yeah, rare is pushing 4K. So it's gonna definitely push over 4K at 3.9K. So yeah, there's going to be more lineups to contend with this week. It already felt like that in building lineups and putting teams together. So not surprising to see more lineups in there. So you have more lineups live, but you also need to beat more lineups. So you're going to need to get, as we talk about a lot, 2, 3, even 4 guys somewhere in the top 10 to 20, and probably need the right captain to be in the top 3, 4, 5 in order to really get a sweat out of your lineups this week. Okay. While we're here, let's check out this players page that DraftKings did put up. I do like seeing some of the fantasy data on their site specifically. So you get a little bit of the low ask value, their fantasy points per game average, where they're at cuts wise. I mean, nobody better than, Scotty, Hovland. Look at these guys. I mean, the 100% cut percentage. Where's Rahm at in terms of cut percent? Oh yeah, he's missed 1 cut. So, I mean, yeah, Cantlay's missed 1 cut. Xander's missed 1 cut. Rory missed 2. Hatton's only missed a cut. I mean, these guys just don't really miss cuts. So while I think it's possible to have 1 or 2 of these guys miss a cut this week, I don't know that I'd really be betting on it. Even a guy like Finau has only missed 2 cuts. Yeah, so these guys are going to play well. Look at top 10s. I like the floor price here, a bit of fantasy points per dollar. And then I haven't really got into this, but total number of collectibles. I'm not sure this tells me too much, or I'm looking at this too much, but nice to know total supply out there. Looks like crazy part is like Hovland having Hovland, Cantlay, much less ownership out there in terms of cards compared to like Rahm and Scheffler. And I assume this is because of cores and people picking starter packs for Scheffler and Rahm over the likes of like Cantlay and Hovland. I assume that that's the reason for that detail. Rory up there too, big names, probably a lot more starter packs picked of those guys. And I assume that's the reason why the numbers are so different there. But I really like being able to see this on their site. So give this give this page a view if you haven't already. All right, let's go back over to our site, to the lineup builder. As always, I'm in my opinion, the best tool on our site is the lineup builder because of the ability to build your teams, export your CSV, and then upload it into DraftKings in terms of the bulk upload. Just so much faster, so much easier to manage a big portfolio of cards. And even, my portfolio, I wouldn't qualify as big. Shout out Giant Hammer and some other guys in our Discord putting in like 50 plus lineups. I'm putting in 20 lineups, and it's already pretty impossible to manage if you weren't using the bulk uploader. So I think you really need to be using that to the best of your advantage. Also, when you do things like crafting or when the withdrawal happens, it's so much easier to just change things around on our site, move guys in and out of a lineup, and then kind of re-upload into DraftKings. So if you're not using that, head on over to our site, otmnft.com, and the lineup builder, build your teams, get your CSV download for your export, and then upload it directly into DraftKings to put your teams in. Let's take a look at my best rare team. I think this continues to be a challenge for me, and how I allocate my rares is I'm playing all of my rares up in elites. So I always have this feeling after building my elite teams, like, oh man, I could build a great rare team. But again, I really do think it's the play to play your rares up and then play the best rare team that you can make. So my strongest rare team ends up being Fitz, Siwoo Kim, Max Homa, Corey Connors, and then I'm playing up the Scotty Scheffler core. And then another team that's a little bit off the radar compared to that, Cam Young, looking for Cam to get on track here. Want to see him rounding back into form. Was playing fantastic at the end of last year. Hasn't played as well this year, and we'll see how his short game is. I think he's really been struggling with his short game. But Cam Young, captain. Gary Woodland, Andrew Putnam, who's been playing pretty solid golf for someone in the plus 13,000 range. Seamus Power, who I'm trying to catch lightning in a bottle, hasn't played great. Maybe it's a little bit of a buy low spot. Seamus Power, and then playing up Xander, and then just my third team here, a little weaker than these other two teams. KH Lee, Seamus Power again, Tom Hoagie, Adam Schenk, playing up Victor Hovland. So not much notable beyond those three lineups. You will see I am playing a lineup like, Schenk or Svensson captain and Wu captain. I am playing those guys in guaranteed cash, as I talked about. I'm only playing bottom end lineups in the pack party, things like Billy Horschel captain, Peter Malnati captain. This has not enough ceiling to win, even if you add Hideki, even if you add a Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm playing these in the prize pack party. Sorry, it's a tongue twister there. For the sake of maybe I do catch golf variants and I land an elite pack from a rare team, which I'd be thrilled with. But it gives me a chance to try to hunt something down with some of these lower end lineups. All right. Lots of questions to get to today as well. So first of all, let me say hello to chat. JM Stogie. Oh, look, TJ's here. Josh Allen's here. Giant Hammer's here. Shout out Hammer, building like 50 plus lineups. He says, where did he say that? He said, lineup builder is a must. Absolutely. When you're the likes of yourself, who's in every break, who continues to push the envelope on Reignmakers, and Hammer's got a couple of big scores under his belt. So shout out Hammer out there. Harmon, TJ talking about course history, really nice course history. And I think talked about sticky course history here in terms of continuing to see guys who have played well, play well again. TSI says, what's everyone's take on Connors? Seems cheap on secondary for his odds. Same with Harman. I've definitely thought that as well on Harman. Let's take a look at players. Harman, I think he was like $11. Yeah, $11 rare, really cheap. $64 elite, again, really cheap for the likes of plus 6,000. So I think this is a nice pickup. And then Connors a little bit more expensive, but not much. $20 for rares, $100 for elite. So definitely Corey Connors, elite ball striker. Brian Harman, I kind of just think of someone who's really steady all the way through the bag. When he's playing his best, he's putting really well. So I think it's a course that, like I said, he has great history here. So I'm looking for just his all-around game to continue to shine and see if he can run up the board. But I totally agree. $11 rare and $64 elite for where he sits in the odds board, as you can see with this player's view, just way too cheap. So if you're looking to add a guy or you need an extra guy, Harman to me, pretty awesome value this week, which is why I wrote him up. So that's why you see Harman in the mid-range this week. Okay, what else? Anyone that y'all are buying this week, especially thinking about utility for the Open? Yeah, Shane Lowry, probably the biggest name that comes to board. $18 rare. Think he always plays the Opens really well. Think in general his major history, his course history and majors, pretty good. Elite pedigree. So I like Lowry, definitely at the rare tier for something like the Open. Just a quick name. I haven't looked a ton into Hoylake and how Hoylake plays or what the statistics are on Hoylake, but I know Lowry in terms of not just major history, but specifically British Open history is quite solid. So I like Lowry a good bit. All right, I had some other Discord questions. I'm all over the place today, guys. I got some energy. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm on like coffee number 3 or something like that. So I'm feeling quite good today. Hammer, I missed this. Sending you some elite craft vibes. Yeah, I'm gonna do some crafting here. Let's get through a few other questions. Shout out our Discord. Last man to make best rare lineup, Morikawa or Fitz. I've heard a lot of people say Morikawa this week. I'm going Fitz there. I just think Colin, while he played really well on the weekend at the Open, I don't know that he fully found something. And I'll take Fitz's game at a course like this over Collins. Although I think Colin perfectly fine here, so I think it's really tight. But I'll take Fitz there. Captain Lowry or Henley. Man, Henley is quite interesting. What is Henley's odds to win here? Yeah, plus 3,500 for Henley. We do have this happen on our site sometimes when the crafting happens. So Henley at 3,500, 375 for core, 2,450 for a rare, 145 for an elite. It's hard to argue with the betting odds. So I'll go Henley over Lowry this week. A little bit of better odds in terms of the betting market, and you're probably not going to get a better spot to play Henley because you don't need to hit it very far, and his accuracy really good as well. So I think the combination of him not hitting it as far, but him having great accuracy. I think he ranks in the top 10 in accuracy percentage from a driving standpoint. If you're in the fairway here, you're going to have a lot of wedges. If you have a lot of wedges, you're going to likely have a lot of birdie looks. And Henley's been playing really well. So I'll take Henley over Lowry there. And then last man in, Moore, Straka, Svensson. Let's see what the betting market has. More, I tend to say more here. I keep falling into the Adam Svensson trap, and not that he hasn't been pretty good, but in general, I definitely think Taylor Moore, Sepp Straka playing a little better than Adam Svensson. Yeah, I think Svensson and Straka a pretty big toss up. Let's take a look. I do like Rick Run's good site. Little golfer profiles gives you sort of every stat that you want. Sven, who are we looking at? Straka. I think I looked up Straka. Actually, we can do a comparison here. Head-to-head matchups. Straka and who was the last one? Taylor Moore. ETP. This basically gives you strokes gained total, but at how many strokes they gain total and the percentage they gain it. So yeah, as you can see, Taylor Moore just much better here. 67% of the time gains strokes total on the field. 53% of the time gains one or more strokes. 35. Yeah, so it's definitely a bit in favor of Taylor Moore here. So I'll say Taylor Moore, and the odds about the same. So yeah, I'll go Taylor Moore for last minute. What else did we have? What else did we have? A couple other things in here I thought I saw. Tom Kim, a lot of questions. Tom Kim came out, played the US Open really well. I think Tom Kim definitely back this week. Anytime you get a short course where, elite ball striking and elite iron play is going to dictate a lot of the scoring. I really like Tom Kim. So like Tom Kim this week. Seems like he's perfectly healthy, so nothing to really worry about there. I'm trying to see what else we had. Any other questions? All right, I can't see anything else. Shout out you all for a couple of good questions this week. All right, let's get into crafting. Any other questions on YouTube? Okay, let's get into crafting. I wanted to do some crafting and see how this works out. I added some money to my portfolio because if you're going to craft, you might as well craft at the level that you're playing at most, or at the level you're wanting to play at most. So I'm going to do an elite craft. So yeah, you come here, you're essentially crafting, you're giving up 3 rares or 3 cores plus a crafting token to get either, if you go up 3 cores, you get a rare. If you give up 3 rares, you're getting an elite. And I believe they need to be they are basically dictating which cards you have. So I took a look, and if I look at my collection here, Brian Stewart I can craft, and what else here? Carl Yuan I can craft, $2, $3, and then I've got 2 Alex Norins. Alex Norin he's been quite frustrating to me. Hasn't played great. When I have played him in, lineups where I think that has upside, he struggled. So I'm going to keep the Genesis for the fantasy points, for the Reignmakers fantasy point score. I'll craft the approach. And then I forgot I didn't buy. So you got to go buy. If you don't have them, need to buy the crafting token. So I will be buying this crafting token from the secondary market. Congrats. Got it. Fire it in here. And let's see what we get. This could kind of change everything, I suppose. We would like the best here. I mean, can we? I actually not even 100% sure. Can we get Rom and Kentley and Scheffler here? I hope that we can. And if we do, let's go. But let's figure it out. Here we go. Crafting. Chosen to burn 4 cards. 4 cards being 3 rare golfer cards and 1 elite crafting token. Yes, permanently burn them. See you later. Sayonara. Burned is in progress. I do think this is such a cool aspect of Reignmakers, such a unique way to continue to change the way in which fantasy sports is consumed and to be had. I love the gameplay elements of it. So really shout out DraftKings Reignmakers for making this kind of stuff available. All right, let's open it up. Here we go. Is this going to Where's Hammer's comment? I want to put that back on the board. Oh, here we go. Already made a mistake. Looks like let's see a big win, but he says no. There are some available from the drop, so I spent a few dollars more. So shout out you on the secondary market, making a few bucks off of me. Okay, now you're gonna get a beast. OT karma coming. Let's go. Here we go. Grayson Sig, definitely not a beast, but that is part of the fun of playing the game. Oh boy. Well, at least it doesn't change my lineups. So there you go. That is crafting. I do think it provides an awesome angle to have more fun with some of your lower end cards. Also cleans up the portfolio a little bit. 3-for-1 trade. Do it again. No, I don't want to do it again. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. We'll see. I don't like to spend all my money in one single week. He's wearing he's wearing a stylish shade of pink. Yeah, OTM lavender purple there on Grace and Sig. All right. I think that will do it for everything Rainmakers, but if there's any other questions, fire them in. Of course, we got to talk Blitz Fantasy Golf. And while I do this, I'm going to also manage to get the StreamYard giveaway ready to go. But Blitz Fantasy, so this is our spin on a new take on fantasy golf. And I really am excited for all of you guys to see it. Shout out to our entire Discord who's been enjoying it. And as you can see here, there's already packs available for the travelers. We're going to rip open one of these packs. I'm going to show you everything you need to know in order to play Blitz Fantasy. It is so simple. Anyone who, even if you haven't, watched a second of golf or don't know a second about golf, which of course, I don't know why you'd be listening to this show, but it is designed so that everyone can get a little bit of money in skin in the game. You buy this pack, you are going to get 20 golfers across 4 tiers. You're going to get 5 golfers in 4 separate tiers. Tier 1 is made up of the golfers with the top 10 odds. Tier 2 is the golfers from odds 11 through 25. And I can just pull up the rules here so you guys can see that. 11 through 25. Tier 3 is 15 golfers. Sorry, there. Tier 3, 25 golfers, 26 through 50. And Tier 4, 25 golfers, 51 through 75. So as you can see, we're limiting the field here to the top 75 golfers. The rule of thumb that we try to play with is want to give you options of golfers who you know, which is why Tier 1 is also a bit smaller than Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. So you get 5 golfers from each tier, and then you down select. You pick 3 golfers. So it is a little bit of, a digital pack opening experience plus some strategic decision making to build your team of 12 golfers, of which then you can sweat those 12 golfers on the leaderboard and enjoy the tournament. So I have a pack available, and I'm going to give it to one of you guys that are out there. If you're out there listening, comment #golf in the chat, and we'll pick one of the winners to receive this specific pack. So let's go to my packs, and then we'll showcase the entire experience of opening one of these packs and getting to make some key selections. I'll give my thoughts on selections, but of course, I will leave it up to the winner to finalize the pack. Of course, you need to get your picks in before the start of the tournament, so it will lock on Thursday morning. So my advice, get your picks in on Wednesday night, by tonight. It'll lock really early morning on Thursday. So here we go. Little digital pack opening experience to determine which golfers I have. Here we go. Oh, man. Nothing like a digital pack opening experience. Really nothing like it. Little tunes. We'll block that out for now. All right. Purple is going to be your tier 1. Green's going to be your tier 2. Red's going to be your tier 3. And yellow is going to be your tier 4. Here's who we get in this pack. Scotty Scheffler opening up with the top of the board. Can't hate that. Patrick Cantlay, my favorite play. Wow, hot start. Might not want to click any other buttons. Victor Hovland, nobody hotter in golf than Victor. Rory coming off fantastic U.S. Open performance. And Tony Finau, someone who has a good bit of wins this year under his belt. Tier 2, Brian Harman. Oh, man, this pack is meant for me. Ricky Fowler. Shout out Ricky. Love Ricky being back. So you get a little bit of a non-Rainmakers card and some sweat equity here with Ricky. Justin Thomas, can he find something? Wyndham Clark coming off a major victory. And Hideki Matsuyama. Wow, really strong tier 2 there. Tier 3, Mark Hubbard. Minwoo Lee. Minwoo's been fantastic. Adam Scott. Man, this pack really is meant for me. TJ and I went on an Adam Scott rant on Monday. If you didn't catch that, always check Monday's show for all of TJ's thoughts. The guy just he knows golf, man. He knows how to pick golf. Had Rory for the majors, almost had another winner to go on top of two previous winning calls this year. Patrick Rogers, love Patrick Rogers, love his game. Adam Svensson in tier 4, Thomas Dietrich, Mackenzie Hughes, Matt Neesmith, and Christian Bezadenhout. From here, you go into the lineup builder, and then you build your team. Like I said, from each one of your tiers, you pick 3 out of 5 golfers. If this were my pack, let's see what's the chat. What's the chat like here? I mean, we're clearly locking Scheffler, can't lay, and I think there's a decision here. I I'm kind of full fade Rory. I don't know. Maybe that's dumb. Maybe full fade Rory is just dumb and fancy play syndrome. The guy gets to just put his mind at rest. He gets to kill all of the business angles and just go out and play golf. Maybe Rory is the play. What do you guys like? Do you guys like Rory, Victor, or Tony? I think I'd go Victor here if this were me, but I want to know what you guys think. I love Finau, but I just don't know that you can pick Finau over Rory and Victor. Just too good. Harman is going to be in there for me. Hideki is definitely going to be in there for me. And then yeah, I think the question is Wyndham Clark or Ricky Fowler. I like Ricky Fowler, I think. A little bit of a major hangover for Wyndham. Let me know what you guys think. Minwoo, Adam Scott. And then I think it's interesting. I'm not a big Keegan Bradley guy, so I think Mark Hubbard playing some really fantastic golf. So I'd probably go Mark Hubbard here. And then bottom tier, a little bit of a crapshoot down here. Thomas Dietrich, someone that I know who has a pretty elite skill set, maybe just not able to put it together all at the same time right now. Bezadenhout playing really well for his skill set and for, his overall game. I think he's playing some solid golf. Someone who plays more on the European Tour, the DP World Tour than the PGA Tour, but been playing a lot of PGA Tour events or more PGA Tour events than I ever recall in years past. And then pretty big toss up here. I do fall into this Adam Svensson trap a good bit, but Mackenzie Hughes is a great putter. And on a course like this, where you're going to have looks and going to need to make birdies, I might opt for Mackenzie Hughes here. And we've talked about this in our Discord a lot. Matthew Neesmith, he's playing better. We went through a slump kind of 2 months ago or so, and he was just, I think he was pretty unplayable and sort of found himself a little bit. So numbers definitely better there. But if I had to pick one, I might go hot putter in Mackenzie Hughes. Let's see what chat is saying here. Stogie likes Hovland. Rory saving his energy for the Open. Yeah, I'm kind of on board there. I think I'd probably go Hovland. I'd go Ricky here. What else you guys think? My preference would be Hubbard, Mackenzie Hughes, but I could certainly see TJ, definitely a Keegan guy. A lot of news lately coming out about Michael Jordan's place. Keegan maybe playing well with Jordan in the wings there, repping the Jordan brand. So maybe Keegan there. Also, plus 9,000 to plus 13,000 odds is a pretty big jump. So maybe Keegan is the play there, and then I'd go Mackenzie Hughes. So that's where I would be going with this lineup. But again, just meant to showcase a new way to get a little bit of additional action in the game. Packs cost around $10. All the money from the pack purchases go into the prize pool. So shout out all you guys out there enjoying this experience. What is how many entries we got in here? Let's see. We've got 43 entries in there, over 4,000 gold in the pool. So $160 up for grabs at the top of the prize pool there. So shout out you guys having some fun with Blitz. Wanted to introduce this game to more people. So if you're out there, if you want to get some additional sweat equity into the Travelers Championship, Blitz Fantasy Golf is the way to do so. All right, let's see how many entries we got. Let's bring this up here. Can you guys see that? Okay. Golf. We've got 12 entries. We've got 10 people watching the show. Shout out to you guys all for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. I think the Wednesday show is something I really have a good time with. I'm getting more natural, if you will, getting into the content game, talking through my teams, talking through your questions. Really just fun to talk golf. I have a great time talking golf. And one thing I've really loved about our community and Rainmakers in general, so many people who maybe had watched golf previously, but were more casual fans, or maybe like honestly didn't watch a ton of golf at all. I saw a lot of people saying that they've been enjoying Rainmakers. They've been enjoying watching fantasy golf. A couple of quotes in our Discord saying, I can't believe you guys have me watching 6+ hours of golf on the weekends now. So I think it's an awesome sport to really kind of hone in on and to like find some edges. It's more of a niche sport for sure. And I think there's definitely some edges out there to be had. Shout out Consigliere says Golf Rainmakers has been paying for my best ball on DraftKings. Boy, if you like best ball on DraftKings, we have a lot of things in the works. The guru that is Mr. Justin Herzig, always thinking best ball, dreaming best ball, everything best ball. So more best ball stuff to come for sure. Excited to see where DraftKings best ball goes, where Rainmakers football goes. Excited for all of that. Best way to get you a question if we aren't following you on Twitter. Yeah, great question. I'll one thing I haven't done, and rookie mistake here. I'll put our Discord link into the descriptions here, Roy, and you'll be able to join our Discord. We have a Rainmakers PGA channel that is always popping over there. So best way to get a question in is to just do it via our Discord. So I'll put after the show ends, I'll put the Discord link. Let's see. Actually, let's do it right now. Invite people. Give me this Discord link. Here you go. Discord link right there. Jump on over into that Discord. There's a Rainmakers PGA section, completely free and open to everybody. Giant Hammer will be in there talking to you about his 50+ lineups. Shout out Hammer. Shout out the community, man. Awesome group of people. So really appreciate you all. Long-winded way to make sure we got everybody who's listening into this giveaway. But yeah, really appreciate you all for the support, for the continued listening and views, for all the banter and the back and forth. Having a great time with fantasy golf and Rainmakers this year. So here we go. All right. Who is going to take home this Blitz pack? If you do win, just shoot me a DM on Twitter. It's at the real Cupe, and we'll make sure we get this. This pack over to you. So here we go. Best of luck. Drawing in 3, 2, 1. I hope it doesn't land on the moment. Of course, I cannot win. We will draw again. Oh, Roy, look at you, man. He jumps into the Discord and he wins the Blitz pack. So shout out, Roy. Really appreciate you tuning in. Have no idea how you found the show, but awesome and happy that you did. If you haven't played Blitz, then you're going to have an awesome time making those strategic decisions on that pack. I will say for that pack, it is a pretty damn good one. I mean, to click Scotty as the first card there, just have an auto lock, and then Cantlay being number 2, my favorite play at the top of the board, just a no-brainer pack there. So hope you all have some fun. Get over into the Blitz streets. Of course, get any of your lineup questions that you have beyond this show over into the Discord, and then we will. I'll be happy to go through any other questions you all have until tomorrow morning. If you haven't yet, make sure you get your lineups submitted. I've heard a few people out there missing lock. Don't do that. If you miss a week of utility here, you're going to want to kick yourself. So get those lineups submitted, and best of luck this week with the Travelers Championship. It should be a really, really fun week of golf. Can't wait to see what the weekend leaderboard looks like. As always, the best sweat in fantasy sports is back with the Friday cut sweat of a traditional stroke play PGA Tour event. So I think that'll do it for content this week. The article is over on our site, otmnft.com. All of your Rainmakers Pro tools are over there. Check out that players page on DraftKings. Get into Blitz Fantasy. The link for Blitz Fantasy is in the description. jump into that game. Really, really fun way to enjoy the sweat. And like I said, all the pack purchase money goes into the prize pool. More ways to win, more ways to enjoy fantasy golf. So I think that'll do it for me, for everyone at OTM, all behind the scenes for today, and for all of you guys. I will talk to you on Monday alongside TJ, recapping the Travelers and previewing next week's event. Until then, talk to you soon. Catch you on Discord later.